series this afternoon. After you lose, it's double elimination, so they had an elimination game this afternoon. College baseball and football. But anyway, I don't know what the final was, but back was it? Somebody jumped all, Stanford jumped all over Arizona. I think they won 14-5 or something. Yeah.
Jen, do we have anybody online?
No.
I guess it's stand-up kind of. I'll point it toward me in case it falls.
Oh, you can spill it.
It's got a lid.
The regular meeting of the Clear Lake City Council of Monday, June 21st, 2020 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. To the consent agenda. Excuse me. You have a copy of the minutes of June 7th, 2021. We need a change of the July 5th meeting date to July 6th at 6 p.m. We have a well agreement with 609 North 40th Street. We need approval of the bills and claims, of which you also have a copy. And we have the following licenses and permits: liquor license Class C, liquor license with outdoor service, and this Sunday sales at Sunset Sharkies. We have a Class C beer permit, Louis Custom Meats, those are renewals. Excavators license, Rock Central LLC. Williams Underground, that's new. We have a tree trimmer's license. Bryant Service, that's new. We have a peddler's license. Perry's Sweet Treats, that's a renewal. And we have a tax abatement for Randall and Barbara Park at 501 Oak Street. Motion, please.
So move.
Moved by Bennett, seconded by Mark, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Just one question, Your Honor. Where's Oak Street?
Just Glen Oaks.
Glen Oaks, okay. Yeah, thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on any issue or concern. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, excuse me, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter in the minutes. This is not a discussion time nor a question and answer time, and you have 3 to 5 minutes. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Angela Conrad. I reside at 2604 South Taft Avenue in Mason City. And I just wanted to come today to point out on the 16th of June, my husband and I went to dinner at the Landing, and we parked just across the street at Tourist Park, which we had done many times in the past. This time when we left and went to our car at about 8 p.m., there were several police officers out there. And to be honest, I was thinking in my head, I hope no one got hurt playing volleyball. But they were ticketing several of the cars that were parked there. And we were kind of surprised. And we asked them, what's going on? What are you doing? And they said, we're ticketing all of these cars. And we were like, I don't quite understand why this is happening. And they're like, well, if you look at these signs, you can clearly see it says attached trailers only. And we're like, uh-huh. And they're like, yes, you can't park here. And I said, okay, that really isn't clear from the sign, but I understand you're just here to enforce this. And the next day then, I went to the police office and I talked with Emily there, who said that, this had gone into effect in 2020 and that there've been kind of some controversy and a lot of questions and frustration over this. And I said, well, I kind of understand that, because from what the sign says, to be honest, I kind of felt like I was being tricked, since I've, parked there several times in the past, and it comes across as attached trailers only. Well, then don't store your trailer here. Don't have an unattached trailer here. That is what that sign is conveying to me, and to be honest, I think it's conveying it to a lot of people, because, there were probably 20 cars parked there that were being ticketed. And so I was just coming tonight to kind of address that with you and kind of encourage you to make that sign more clear. Perhaps say parking only for vehicles with attached trailers or something like that. Because attached trailers only does not convey the message that cars should not be parking there. And, as I said, I think people kind of feel like they're being tricked. And that isn't what you guys, I think, intended with that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Council will take that under advisement. Appreciate that. Anyone else in the audience wish to address the council tonight on any issue or concern? Welcome. Please state your name first and last and give your address, please.
Craig, C-R-A-G, Wellman, W-E-L-L-M-A-N, 1120 South A Street, Clear Lake, Iowa, right next to the Crazy Minnow. Okay? What I would like to ask, and I've been watching it, we sit out there in a place on a patio on a very old house, but it's a good place to look. The traffic has been getting, in my opinion, extremely volatile. In other words, very large trucks going down that street at very high speeds. Once they get over the hill, about a block and a half up, it's a flat plane, and then it starts to taper off as you get down towards the spillway, okay? And there's a couple of things that are bothersome as far as I'm concerned. Number one, it's extremely dangerous, in my opinion. Number two, they're not abiding the speed limit. In other words, I don't understand why they get away with it. Now, my question would be, as opposed to, trying to mitigate what they do, I'm trying to say, is it possible to put a stop sign there? Not a stoplight necessarily, not a blinking light necessarily, just a stop sign. The stop sign isn't going to irritate the summer people who are coming in. And by the way, I think a lot of them are guilty of this. In other words, they're in their four-wheelers, they finally got to Clear Lake, and they're just going to press the pedal to the metal and continue. But it's making for a very dangerous situation. A lot of animals have been hurt there. People have been hurt there. As I understand, in the past, there was one death possibly at that location. I'm not totally sure about that. Okay? And that's primarily it. I mean, there may be other thoughts about it, but something should be done at that location to try to slow down the traffic. People coming up from the south, no problem. They see the sign. But when you get to where these people are coming down to, they see 35 miles an hour. And so they hit the pedal right there and just go right straight through. Any questions?
We, as stated prior to when you came in, this is not a discussion time nor a question and answer, but we will take that under advisement. We thank you for being here.
Thank you.
My name is Susan Bullard, B-U-L-L-E-R-T. I also live at 1120 South 8th. This was my husband. The speed limit there is 25 miles an hour. We have complained about this before, several years ago, because there was some accidents there. And we were told at the time, well, it just looks like the trucks are moving faster because they're so big. No, it doesn't look like they're moving faster because they're so big. They're moving faster because they're moving faster than 25 miles an hour. And he's right. There's kind of a hill there that goes down as you leave town, and they're gunning it. Some of those people have to be doing at least 45. Now, the last time we'd expressed this concern, they did go and put what's the thing that tells you how fast you're going?
Speed trailer.
That one, okay. They put that in there. In fact, they put it on our ground. Except, instead of 25 miles an hour, it was set at 35 miles an hour. And I watched as people were going through. It's 42 miles an hour, 47 miles an hour. And, no problems. It acted like it was perfectly normal. When I did see that, we did suggest that that was a good thing for the police department to look into, because they either didn't realize it should be 25 miles an hour there, or else there was just an error in their part. I don't know what it was. The other thing is there's a lot of increased traffic in that area because a lot of people are turning to go to McKesson. So that's all that I want to say. But it really is a problem area, and there's more small children in that area all the time as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak to the council this evening? Thank you all. None appearing. We'll move on to unfinished business, of which we have one, and we'll move right from there to number 6A, new business. 2020 East Main Avenue Street Reconstruction and Bike Lane Extension Project update, review of pay estimate number 7, which is the semifinal, and project closeout schedule. Jason Petersburg, Veenster and Kim, welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Construction of the East Main Avenue reconstruction project is complete. There are two relatively minor punch list items that we're still working on getting wrapped up, but they should be complete rather soon. Pay estimate 7 in your packets. That's the semi-final pay estimate for the project. It includes the final project quantities. Final value of work completed is $2,037,867.43. This is approximately $140,000 less than the original contract amount. As you recall, this was a phased project, and we included some temporary asphalt paving to get us through the winter. However, we didn't need that, and that's a substantial amount of that underrun there. Net amount due to Wix Construction for this pay estimate is $64,163 even. V&K does recommend approval of the pay estimate. Also in your packets is the project closeout schedule. We'll just glance at that quick. Tonight is review and approval of pay estimate number 7, which is the semifinal. And yet this week we will prepare the final assessment plat and schedule, provide that to your bond council for review. And at your next council meeting, the first meeting in July, you'll be acting on pay estimate number 8, which will be the final pay estimate, as well as the necessary resolutions to initiate the special assessment, the final assessments on this. All in all, the special assessment project drags out until just after Labor Day with the required publications and mailings. So with that, I take any questions on the pay estimate or the schedule.
Council, any questions for Jason? Saad appears to be doing well in the ROW.
Saad is doing very well.
Great. None appearing, I'll entertain a motion to approve pay estimate number 7 with regard to 2020 East Main Avenue Street Reconstruction and Bike Lane Extension Project in the amount of $64,163 to Wix Construction, Decorah, Iowa. Motion, please.
So offered. Second.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Bennett, that we approve pay estimate number 7. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. 6B, 2015 North Shore Drive Storm Sewer Extension Project Review. Mr. Flory, welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, I'll go through the items here in the packet with you, starting with the first pink sheet in your packet. It's a resolution accepting the work for the 2105 North Shore Drive Storm Sewer Improvement Project. On the back side of that sheet is a certificate of completion that was delivered by Jason Petersburg this past week, indicating that all the work for the project was completed in terms of the plans and specifications in full compliance with those documents. The purple sheet after that, just again for your review, was a copy of an agreement that the city entered into back in November of 2020 with the property owner, Mr. Ed Lunn, at that location for this improvement project. And that's just indicating our contribution to the project in terms of the storm sewer infrastructure improvements and overland drainage swale. And then also I've included a copy, just for your edification, of the scope of the improvements and the layout on the lot itself. So of course, this is the property right across from the city's golf course there, the Veterans Memorial Golf Course on North Shore Drive. And again, back in 2020, in November, we entered into this stormwater utility extension agreement with Ed Lund for the storm sewer improvements. Essentially, those included a 24-inch RCP storm sewer pipe that was put in along that east property line, 2105 North Shore Drive. That was, if you recall, previously there was kind of a small little cottage there, sat there for years, and was in a little bit of a dilapidated condition there. So these improvements facilitated construction of a new single-family residential dwelling at this location for the owner and developer. Also on the east side there is an overland drainage swale that's constructed, so when the storm sewer would reach a point of inundation, then the overland drainage swale would be able to accommodate whatever the pipe itself would not be able to accommodate. So in accordance with the agreement itself, the developer, again, as I mentioned, has filed that certificate of completion, and that was referenced in that document, that once all the work was completed, that the city would consider reimbursement in the amount of $20,000 as a lump sum to offset the costs associated with that new storm sewer improvement project. And probably just the last thing I would mention is that that does come with a 2-year maintenance bond on the storm sewer, and once you accept that, then that would become part of the city's storm sewer system and would be under our auspices for maintenance. And that's all I have on background on that, unless there are any questions.
Council, any questions for Scott?
Just one. If my memory serves me correctly, the east side of that property, which is, I guess, now right-of-way, at least a certain portion of it?
Easement.
Easement, excuse me. Was that the piece of property that was at one time owned by the golf course to get their irrigation from the lake?
That's right.
Okay. And did we sell it upon acquiring the golf course?
No, so that was something that predates our acquisition of the golf course, so you're going really a long way back there in history. So at one point, it was all one property, as you're kind of suggesting there. So, and at one point, the previous owner sold that portion of the property to a private individual, and that person put a house on it at some point. But yeah, that's probably back in like the 40s, maybe, or maybe even before then, but then that house has sat there ever since under private ownership and not part of the golf course.
No, I understand that, but is that adjacent to the chunk that the golf course owned at one point?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Council, any other questions for Scott? I noticed they're moving right along with that.
Yep, they got the
Would say.
basement foundation in,
Right.
so yep. Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Okay, thank you.
Should be a pretty nice improvement out
Yes,
there.
very much so. Therefore, I entertain a motion to approve the developer's request for reimbursement, which is $20,000 by the city council. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Gary, that we approve the developer's request for reimbursement. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2126, a resolution accepting the work.
So moved. Second.
By Bennett, seconded by Mike, that we approve Resolution 2126. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Mark.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
And Gary.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2126 is duly adopted. 6C, 400 block Main Avenue Alley Reconstruction Project. Intro, Mr. Flory.
Thanks again, Mayor. These in your packet are the yellow sheets, so it's a proposed engineering services agreement from Vincent and Kim for the 400 block of Main Avenue Alley Reconstruction Project. Also included a map in your packet from V&K that kind of identifies the geographical location of the improvements. At the last meeting, I kind of talked about this project a little bit. We got a situation where Alliant is going to be working with the property owners of the former Thrifty White store to do some electrical service upgrades there, which are going to require pretty substantial removals in that alley itself. And so Jason and Jeremy kind of started having some conversation with Alliant and the owners, and then I got involved in that a little bit. And it turns out that we've got, I think, a pretty good opportunity here to sort of not only have the private utility services upgraded as far as the electric goes, but also our infrastructure in this alley. So Alliant is agreeing to reimburse the city a portion of the cost that it would incur to put the alley back for its excavation. But while we're at it, we've got some storm sewer there that we could reposition and maybe accommodate better the roof drains that dump into that alley. And so the proposed project would be similar to the project that we did a few years ago in between Starboard Market and Clear Lake Bank and Trust, and utilize some decorative stamped colored concrete in that alley with the bollards that are lighted and lockable and removable bollards. So again, it'd be a real nice cleanup for that alley, and it would also involve, there's some really large overhead power poles in that alley, 3 or 4 of them, and those would all be buried now as part of this project, so those would no longer be present in that alley. So it would dramatically improve the aesthetics of that portion of the community downtown for sure. So if you remember back, the Starboard Market project, that was completed back in 2018, just for a point of reference there. So the cost of the engineering services agreement with Veenstrom Chem would be a not to exceed $16,250. That would be for complete design, bidding, construction services, et cetera. We would anticipate that the estimated cost of the project would be around $100,000. Of course, Alliant would be reimbursing the city. It's estimated up to $20,000 for the alley removal and pour back portion of the project. And we're just, Jason tentatively penciled out a rough schedule here. We'd be looking at a project bid letting date of September 2nd, shortly starting on construction pretty shortly thereafter, so September 13th, and then have it be completed by November 12th. So I don't think I've got anything further in terms of the background on that. I think it'd be, another nice opportunity to kind of clean up an alley there. It's probably one of those where we would also be looking at, like we did at Starboard. If you remember years ago, that was a drive-through alley, so we replaced the curb and gutter section along there. It added, I think, about 3 parking stalls down there as well. So probably be able to do that here as well, add some additional parking. I think it'd be important with the new businesses going in there, but again, really kind of clean up that alley and make an opportunity for some outdoor activities and things to take place out there too. So.
Council, any questions for Scott?
So there will no longer be any kind of vehicle traffic in that alley?
Correct. Not going north and south, but east and west.
Well, correct, but it's perpendicular with the east and west one.
Exactly. Right.
And I don't think any truck could ever make
No,
that
it'd be a tight turn.
90-degree turn there, so.
Have to be a golf cart.
Well, we've got plenty of those, so look out.
Any other questions for Scott? Scott, review of proposed professional services agreement. Jason Petersburg, Veenstrom Chem. Welcome again, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor. Council. Scott did a great job covering the scope of the improvements there. One thing I'd like to note is that we are going to look at some other methods for rehabilitating the sanitary sewer main. Space is very limited in here. It's going to be expensive sanitary sewer if it has to be excavated and replaced. So we are going to look at some trenchless options there. Also, we're going to need to be coordinating with Alliant Energy throughout this. If we do have to dig and replace that sanitary sewer, we need to get that done first and then work our way up with utilities. So it'd be storm sewer and then the electric, and then last would be the roof drains and the excavation and paving. So coordination with private utilities is going to be key on this project. Regarding the schedule, I have been communicating with Alliant. They've been talking to the electricians working for the property owners. Lead time on the equipment is obviously a concern right now with everything being behind schedule as far as being able to get the materials. So they are working on that. Alliance hoping that they'll have enough of their equipment late July, early August, and they're still waiting to hear out of the electricians when they'll get their panels that they need. So the agreement in your packets is all the design and construction related services required for the project, which does include assisting with the coordination with the property owners as well as Alliant Energy. The total not to exceed fee is $16,250. Any questions?
Repeat that fee again.
Not to exceed, did I say that wrong? $16,250.
Okay, any questions for Jason? Thank you, Jason. Therefore, entertain a motion to approve professional services agreement with Veenstra and Kim.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Bennett, that we approve the professional services agreement. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. 7, Chief of Police report. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'll direct your attention to the back of your packets. Our May 2021 stats are included in there if you have any questions about that. Secondly, the orange sheets in your packet behind that is a new position that we are seeking council approval for. This is something that we've worked on with the city for pre-COVID, so probably back in 2019 when we really saw a need to have a dedicated records clerk, especially as we started getting into more digital evidence or records requests with our body camera and our in-car camera. This is a part-time position, and it would really help us get our records out in a timely fashion by law. We didn't really have a need for this during COVID because the courts were shut down, but as they started back up again, we really have kind of saw the need to get this going again. So, Mr. Mayor, we are requesting permission or approval from the council on this position. And if there's any questions about that, I can answer it. And then finally, in your packet, the busy picture here is our July 4th celebration map. This has been about 3 years in the making. I think we kind of forgot what we did with this back in 2019, but I'll start at the top here by North Lakeview. That yellow area up there is permit parking only for the duration of the event through June 30th through July 5th. Again, there's no parking there during the fireworks, I believe after 2 p.m. on the 4th. We enforce that no parking along that big stretch of North Lakeview there until the fireworks are over and all the pedestrians are out. There is no parking, temporary no parking on 2nd Avenue North there from North Lakeview all the way up to North 3rd. That's because of the traffic that comes down there off North Shore, needs a place to go. And when we have a lot of doubled parking there, it becomes very problematic. We did that back in 2019, and it really did help the residents out down there, and we got a lot of compliments on that. As you come back into the uptown or the city park area, those red zones are road closed. Those are all what we've done in the past. Just kind of wanted to highlight that. I don't have on this map, but the Farmer State Bank, that grass area becomes the parking for the municipal band, I believe on the 4th. I believe Public Works sets up a snow fence up there, and that's temporary parking for them. And then down, if you get toward the south side there, the South Shore area, we do have permit parking only for carnival people and the craft show people there in the senior center lot, and also in one half of that lot behind the VFW, as you see there. We keep First Ave South open from South Shore up to South 3rd because we had a lot of complaints. We had a lot of trailers parked along that parallel that ran generators, a lot of noise there. So we did that in 2019. Again, had a lot of favorable comments about keeping that area open. And we enforced that 2 to 5, no parking there. at night. The yellow area there from South Shore down to the water plant is kind of the area I really want to point out. We park our craft show trailers, or the craft show trailers, along that street there, backed into the sidewalk, just the trailers. I know that we've had a little bit of complaints because that's prime parking and it's sort of I hate to say an eyesore, but trailers around that city beach area, but that's about the only place we can put them so they can have access to their merchandise and get back and forth to their stands. It keeps them out of the VFW, keeps them off the street on First Ave South there, and we work with the water department there. We know who they belong to. If we have to move them, we can. And then the ambulance parks just across in those 3 or 4 parallel spots there on First Ave South. That's for emergency parking only. And so they kind of put their ambulance facing out there in that area. So really, this is just sort of a breakdown of what we do. This will be pushed out on social media as we get closer to this. We've worked closely with the chamber on that, and I'll entertain any questions you have about the map or about parking or any of the events that we have. This will be my first year for a July 5th parade, so that will be unique for me. And we have the run too, I believe, in the morning of that, so that will be quick, and that will be going backwards. So the run starts and it goes, I believe, toward the parade setup. So there'll also be a variable message board sign if the DOT approves it, one of those big orange ones that say, parade turning on North 20th only. So we did that several years back too, but I'm waiting to hear back from the chamber on that.
So that run in the morning starts at 7:30ish, or?
Yeah.
Goes from 3rd to 20th and back, right?
I believe so.
The overpass.
Yeah.
All the way to the overpass. Oh,
They're going to
okay.
try to get there before they have all the staging there for the parade.
Okay. All right, the parking lots for permit only then are half of the VFW lot and the entire senior citizen
Correct.
parking? All right.
We are trying to work with Public Works about trying to designate an area for ADA handicap parking area spaces, but the signage is what we're short on, and we don't have a lot of temporary signs that we can put on a street somewhere, and you need certain length or width of parking stalls for that. So it's going to have to be in an area where there's parallel parking, so they have an avenue to get out or egress from their vehicle with a ramp. So I've been working with Jeremy on that to try to identify an area, because I know that's been kind of a problem in the past too, of trying to direct people with ADA or the placards to a specific spot or area, that is.
And you say we've done the North Lakeview permit parking only before?
Just once, we did it in
Once,
2019.
Okay.
It's actually been done multiple times through the years.
Well, it was the first time that we actually got involved with it and gave
Okay.
you permits and actually
Yeah,
went down
because
there.
I think previously the chamber
Yep.
was, yeah. So would you reiterate the process then for basically my neighbors and getting their permit?
So the residents just call the police department and just say they need 2 or 3 permits. We run down there with the permits and you just issue them to the vehicles. Now, again, they have to legally park. It doesn't give them the right to park anywhere. They're subject to 2 to 5 parking on the streets that are applicable, and they have to be off the road on July 4th on that North Lakeview side
Right.
there.
Okay, thank you.
We just wanted to make a place. I know that gets jammed down there for the residents, and it's tough for them to get around because we really wanted to kind of keep that area clear too, just for the event and to keep traffic moving quickly in that area, so.
Yeah, and of course, the fireworks is a whole nother animal in many ways.
And Carnival comes into town June 30th, not before, or?
I think they come in the night before because I think they'll probably be there the 29th, setting up like they do at night, but I don't think the carnival starts until that night, the 30th, at like 5 maybe, or?
Right, that I do know, all right. I was
They
thinking.
will be down there in the park probably the day before like they usually do, so.
So that boat ramp then will be closed
Depending on what they need on the 29th, but most likely the 30th, it'll be closed for the duration.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief? All right, council, we need to act on the request for the police department to advertise for records clerk. Ask for a motion to that, please.
So moved.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Gary, that we approve the Clear Lake Police Department advertisement for a records clerk. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Public Work Director's report. Jeremy? Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just a couple updates. I know Jason had an update on Main Avenue. I think the only thing left that we have going on is the painting. And we plan on starting the bike lane and the bike marking painting tomorrow. That should take about a day. And then we will switch over to the yellow dash line and try and get that done on Wednesday. And then the painting should be done. The other update is the entryway signs. They've been working on that. As far as the city's portion, we have the underground boring done at 8th and at Buddy Holly, so that is completed. And we have also completed the meter upgrades at McDonald's or North 24th, Buddy Holly. And we still are waiting on Alliant at 8th. We have our meter in. We're just waiting for them to switch the power over. And then the sign out at 4th Avenue South, the old Team Quest building, the sign's in place. We had talked to Alliant about digging power over that. Because of the sign, we're exploring an option of a possible solar option rather than digging power in all the way from in front of Seven Stars. So I've contacted a company about that. They do some work with CLTEL, and that's how I got that contact. So we're just going to kind of see where that brings us. But as far as that, it sounds like on the electrical side, we're pretty much in pretty good shape. So with that, I don't think I have any other updates unless you have any questions for me.
Council, any questions for Jeremy?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Under Mayor's report, neither Stacy nor Chad are here this evening, North Iowa Corridor and Chamber of Commerce. We all know that the Chamber is very, very busy at this point with regard to this year. We are having a 4th of July celebration. We aren't sitting here tonight and saying there will be no one like there was 1 year ago tonight. So that we are very, very grateful for. We certainly want to continue to stress the cooperation, collaboration, if you will, that we have had throughout this whole time with the Chamber of Commerce, with the Clear Lake School and School Board. We seem to be working very, very well together, and hopefully we'll continue to do that as we kind of go through all this recovery stuff and back to normal. I'd like to remind us all that this council passed under 3 readings the spot zoning ordinance, and that will take in effect at, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, I believe it's nothing gets put out in the right of way wherever you are, be it on concrete or be it on grass, starting at 5 a.m. on July 4th. So let's hope for good weather. It appears that the long-range report shows that there will be good weather. Obviously, it's going to be warm. It's not 4th of July unless it's very warm here. So looking forward to all of these events, and trust we all have a great July 4th celebration. Scott, City Administrator's report.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a few things here real quick. I want to give you a quick update on the library director executive search process. I've been working with the Library Board of Trustees on that. Bennett has also been involved with that, and we've had initial Zoom meetings conducted with candidates on that. We've narrowed down the group to the finalists, and this week we're having finalists in to interview a little more thoroughly, and then give a tour of the town, meet with other members of the council, other members of the Library Board of Trustees beyond just the search committee, and then meet with some other people here in the community. So excited about that. As you know, the current library director, Joe Pancook, has been here for a little over 7 years and done a very nice job there, but she's indicated she wishes to retire, and it's well-deserved, well-earned retirement, and so she's anticipating probably sometime in September being done there at the library. So it gives us plenty of lead time to get somebody on board, get them up to speed, and hit the ground with both feet running at that position. So again, excited about that process. Jeremy did a nice job on the welcome signs. I just mentioned that talking to Bob Lazier a little bit more, that I think the LED signs at Buddy Holly and also the one at North 8th Street should be going up this week. So if you saw the one at North 24th Street and one there at Team Quest, I think they really turned out pretty nice. And so still waiting to get the stonework done on that, so no, they're not done. Yeah, I mean, you all know that, but they'll have that nice looking field stone on the bottoms of them, and then we'll have the posts and the rope on there, so look very nautical in so many ways, and going to be, I think, a really nice upgrade for the community there, and they'll all be lighted at night. And so I think, much like we talked about I think in April or so when we first started working on that project, I think definitely reflects a lot more of the success that we've had here in the community over the last couple of decades here. So good to see the green ones gone and the new ones in. So happy for that. The South 15th Street Park project, several of us were involved in the meeting there. Of course, the county is out of that building now, and we now are the owners of that, so start the process there to develop that into the Everybody Plays Playground Park, and some more stuff even just beyond that with shelters, restrooms, parking, splash toy features, those kinds of things. So we had a meeting with the consultant, and we had other people involved in that. I think it's going to be a really exciting project for the community, and that neighborhood, is going to be really a great place. And we get the aquatic center there, and got some private investment going up on the east side of South 15th Street there. So, it hasn't been so terribly long ago that there was a hog buying station at the corner of 2nd Avenue South and South 15th Street, and so we've come a long way there, and going to be a nice project, I think, for the community. So, last but not least, I want to officially welcome Adam Long, the new wellness director, to the community. You all met him on the phone last week, and I want to invite him to come to the podium and just say a few things to you. But today was his first day, and so he's excited to be here. We're really thrilled to have him, and he's rolled up both sleeves and gone to work already. So excited for that, and looking forward to having him and his family here. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
We've jumped all the necessary hoops and hurdles for the DOT and the Union Pacific on the placing of those signs.
Yep. Yeah, that's and that's quite a bureaucratic process in working with both of those. But the railroad was pretty helpful. So that was good. But they do take time to go through. And I think maybe you guys, a couple of you, were involved in some of those meetings. And so we had to cross all the T's, dot all the I's in that one. So we covered it with the DOT and Canadian Pacific, and we're ready to go.
Great. Should look well. Any other questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott. Welcome, Adam. Longest day of the year and your first day here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. First day today. It was a long 4 weeks waiting to get up here. I was really excited. As soon as I was offered the position, I was ready to go. So I was glad to get up here. Trying to sort out the living situation a little bit, but we're going to get that going. We have a rental that we're able to, a really nice place that we're able to rent. So we're set there and get a little bit of breathing room till we find a place to buy. But today's first day, very productive day. We just have about 150, 200 more to make sure that this thing goes right. So we'll keep doing that, and met a lot of great people. I'll continue to meet a lot of great people over the next few months, and like I said, I'm very excited. Gary told me he's going to take me shirt shopping. So that'll-
I was going to get that one in too. I introduced him to Gary, and so Adam's been watching a lot of our council meetings. I said, I want you to meet this guy, Gary Hughey. You're the guy who wore that shirt at the last meeting.
Yeah, so I need some help shopping for sure, so Gary's going to help me. No, but yeah, so very, very excited to be here. My family will be with us on over the 4th. So like I told you, my son's birthday is on the 4th, so he's really excited to get up here. We close on the 7th, so we're coming up a little bit early, and we're all really excited to be up here. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'm in the back in the big office. Scott gave me the big office in the way back. So if you guys have any questions, holler at me. Say it again. Yeah, exactly. That's okay. That's okay. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me now, go ahead and shoot. Otherwise, I'm back there. I'll be there.
Council?
I just wanted to say welcome to Clear Lake, Adam. We're thrilled to have you, so welcome.
Appreciate it. I'm very, very excited to be here. My whole family is very excited to be here.
Yeah, very pleased. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other business come before the council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I have you notice July 6th, our next meeting, that's on a Tuesday.
Correct.
Do we need to?
We did that in the early portion of tonight's meeting. We passed that, yes.
On the
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
All right.
It's all right. Anything else, council? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance.